Hey everyone, in my previous videos, I showed you how oversharing is a pretty big problem in a lot of organizations, and I want to show you some things that you can quickly do to make it so it's not as big of a problem moving forward. If you go over to SharePoint Admin Center, under Policies, under Sharing here, you'll see SharePoint and OneDrive, and you really want to make these as restrictive as possible. The different settings here are pretty descriptive, so I won't get into the differences between anyone and new and existing guests, but it's a balancing act between the most permissive and least permissive. If your organization doesn't share documents externally, then you want to lock this all the way down, but that's a pretty uncommon thing. So you really just need to figure out what works for your organization. This next one is probably the most important one because it forces users to think how they want to share out their files. It's very rare that you want to leave the default setting to anyone with the link. That means when your users share out files, it's going to be set to anyone with the link by default, which means everyone will have access to that file, assuming they have the link. I think it's best to change this in increments. So if it's currently set to anyone with the link, I would explain the change to your users and then drop it down to only people in your organization. Let them get comfortable with changing this setting and thinking about how they want to share out these files. And after they get comfortable with that, then change it to specific people. That way they have to manually type out who they want to share it with, and they'll still have the option to manually set it to only people in your organization. The problem with that is these files can be discoverable by Copilot or in SharePoint. So that's why you really want to avoid setting it to only people in your organization. You want to set it to specific people and explicitly share out these files with only the people that need access to them.